Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be reading my stats in my college personal statement essay. This is just to help people see like what colleges I got into, and if you have similar stats, then this could be really helpful in like seeing what your reach/target schools are. If you want to know what colleges I got into, like applied to and stuff like that, go check out my college decision reactions video, which will be in the description. But for people who haven't watched that video, like new people or whatever, I'm a freshman at Tufts University. I'm from California, and I'm gonna make separate videos for how I got into Tufts, which is gonna be more in depth. It's gonna have more people. But for like NYU, for example, obviously I can't really ask people how they got in. I have like no access to people. I don't go to NYU, So for that, I'm just gonna make one big video with all the other schools and the essays that I wrote and like how I got into them and stuff. My GPA is weighted. Unweighted, I think, was 4.0, but it depends on how the college calculates it. So like I don't think GPA matters. You want to just look at like your grades and stuff. I got 2 B pluses and then the rest were A's. My school doesn't do A pluses, so A minus. I think I'm not maybe 1 B plus, and then I had 8 AP classes. So AP French, AP Calc AB, AP Calc BC, A Push, AP Art History, AP Physics C, AP English, Literature, and AP Language. So 8. So I took the ACT and I took the SAT. The ACT I took them both twice. What I ended up like putting on my application was highest composite 34, highest English 36, math 31, reading 36, science 34, writing 8. And then the SAT I got, my highest was a 1500, 750 reading, 750 math, essay 19. For the official test scores, I only submitted the SAT, I think, just because it's a little cheaper than the ACT. But some schools don't even ask for it until you get in. For the SAT subject test, I only submitted math 2. I got a 750. For the APs that I did submit, I did Calc BC, got a 4. Calc AB, I got a 3, but my sub score was a 4, so that's what I submitted. English, language, and composition, I got a 5. French, 4. A Push, 4. So I think that's it for testing. So now activities. So this section, you have to order like most important to least important activities. So I'll just read it in that order. So first we have journalism. I was graphics editor, opinion and review editor, arts and entertainment editor, co-photo editor. That's a lot of editors. I'm a small school, so that was just how it worked. And then I did that 3 years, but I spent the most amount of time on it, so that was number 1. So even though I did it for 3 years, it was number 1. And then I just put what awards we won. So like we won NSPA Best to Show less than 16 pages. And then I put in like parentheses what year I was in when we won that. Music was next. I did orchestra because I was concertmaster and principal second. So if you don't know, concertmaster is like the leader of the orchestra, and then principal second is the leader of the second violin section. So those are both pretty good. And then I put what awards we won and how long I did it. I did that for 4 years. And then I did chamber, also 4 years, what position I was, what awards we won. Then I did my foreign exchange program, Youth for Understanding. I studied abroad in Japan. Go check out my video on that. And then also I got money from that. I got a scholarship, so definitely put if you win any money, if you like get any titles, put that. And then I did an art program. It's not really a resume booster, but it helps round me out as an applicant. It shows that I'm not just studious, I have a life, I have interests and stuff. And then I put another publication. I did my literary magazine. I was co-arts editor. And then the rest I just filled out with athletics because I did a lot of sports in high school, but I wasn't necessarily good at it. So it was just to show that I can commit myself. So I put volleyball, I put figure skating. Figure skating, I don't do with my school. So again, that was just to show like what type of person I am. Like I follow my interests, even though it's kind of like random, I also put foreign language. So I took Japanese outside of school because my school doesn't offer Japanese. Again, just shows that I'm like what type of person I am. And then I put community service. So I tutored low-income students from low-income areas. The first three, I would say, are really important. You want to be spending the most amount of time on these activities. Like, don't put for your number one, like, sports if you only practice, like, twice a week or whatever, And then I filled out all of the slots, but you don't have to. Quality over quantity, definitely. So, for your personal statement, you can basically write whatever you want, however you want. So, I chose narrative style just because I feel more comfortable writing about myself in that way. I'm not very good at talking about myself, so expository writing like about me was really hard. I tried to do that initially, but I realized that wasn't it. My advice for writing these types of things is there's literally no restrictions on how you write, so write in a way that comes naturally to you. It's going to make your voice sound better, and it's also just going to be easier in general. Like, you don't have to write it like an essay if you're bad at writing essays, Yeah, and then my second piece of advice, I'll talk about this more after I finish reading my essay. Write about something that is easy to write about. I'll elaborate more after I read this. Okay, so here's my personal statement. Okay, so my phone ran out of storage, so I'm gonna just pick up where I left off. Emma, okite kudasai ne, called my host mother Kaya from the kitchen. Time to wake up. But like every morning since my arrival in Tokyo, I was already awake. After all, I was studying abroad for just 6 weeks. I couldn't waste time sleeping in. Usually I spent my extra time nursing a coffee while chatting with Kaya in a mix of Japanese and English and watching my host father scramble to leave for work. I'd been fascinated with everything Japanese ever since that box set of Studio Ghibli movies entered my life as a 6-year-old. I wanted to run home in the rain like Sasuke from My Neighbor Totoro, eat onigiri like Chihiro from Spirited Away, and navigate by train like Shizuku from The Whisper of the Heart. So even running errands with Kaya was a literal dream come true. Today, however, was the halfway mark of attending my host sister Ray's high school. Rather than get ready, I lay in my futon and debated whether to ask if I could quit early. Attending high school tested my language skills like no other part of my exchange. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal because, despite my high school not offering Japanese, I'd been self-studying through free language sites for 2 years. But my slang-wielding classmates caught me off guard, and my inability to do more than pick up a few phrases at a time left me disheartened. I desperately wanted to connect with my classmates, but the language barrier and my growing fear of making a fool of myself inhibited me from doing so. I've always struggled with shyness. Just the thought of stepping into an unknown situation makes my stomach knot. I become hyper-aware of myself. Clammy palms, unsteady voice, shifting feet. In the moment, I want nothing more than to remove myself, both physically and emotionally, from what's making me uncomfortable. This response threatens to keep me from trying new things and being true to my adventurous and curious spirit, and after I give in, I always feel regret and shame. But time and time again, I've learned that if I can just push beyond the diffidence, new friends and experiences await. When I stepped foot onto the quad of my new middle school, Caitlin, the girl whom I had shadowed earlier that year, called my name from a crowd of unfamiliar faces and helped set me at ease. Since then, having vividly understood how one small action can have such a big impact, I've made sure to reciprocate the gesture whenever a new student joins our class. In the summer of 10th grade, wanting to improve my art skills, I gathered the courage to attend a 3-week art program across the country and came away with improved technical skill and with friendships from across the globe, including a Japan native whom I reunited with 2 years later and 5,144 miles from home. I finally indulged my curiosity for figure skating after watching skaters on Instagram, despite having no experience in being one of the oldest people on the rink, and eventually gained the skill and confidence to perform in 2 local competitions. Each leap of faith has shown me the excitement waiting on the other side of discomfort, and with it my self-possession grew. In my futon, I thought of my Japanese classmates trying to communicate with me in English when Japanese failed, and knew that they would never mock me like I feared. For me, my exchange was more than realizing a lifelong dream of visiting Japan. It was a test of courage and maturity. My insecurities may accompany me, but I choose to give them power over me or not. And at the end of the day, being a Japanese high schooler was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Was I really considering throwing it away just like that? Hi, ikimasu, I called, rolling out of my bed. I'm coming. So, it's a little cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. My essay, I think it's good. I think there's some things that I could cut out. Mostly, I would say I tell and not show too much. Showing is always better than telling, so... an example of this is, usually I spent my extra time nursing coffee, chatting with Kaya, and mixing Japanese and English, and watching my host father's grandma work. That shows that I'm invested in connecting with my host family, and it shows that I'm appreciating every moment. But an example of telling and not showing was, I've always struggled with shyness. That was unnecessary. First of all, my advice would be to write about something that describes who you are as a person, and not just like, I have brown hair and whatever. For me, what I thought was, what is something that my closest friends would know about me, but a stranger wouldn't? And for me, it was my difficulty pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So this is it for just reading my stats out and everything, but definitely subscribe, turn post notifications on, like this video, comment, whatever. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.